Alright, time to get going. Just spotted something in the water. Looks something metal on it. Huh, it's a dog collar. That's interesting. It's a little too deep right there for me to grab it, or else I would. Alright. Well, this lake is, it's like glass. Beautiful. This is going to be a fun paddle. Oh, I wanted to talk about my, this paddle. This paddle is freaking amazing. This is also one of my favorite pieces of gear that I own. So it's carbon fiber, ZRE. And this is like their Pro ultralight one, and it's 8 ounces. Dear God. I can paddle all day with this thing and just not get tired. This is absolutely fantastic piece of equipment. One of my favorite things I own. I love it. But anyway, let's get going. Well, I'm curious to see how long it's going to take me to do these 2 portages. Like I was saying, one's 3/4 mile, the other one's a ½ mile. So 1/4 mile or 3/4 mile to get to Swan Lake, and ½ a mile to get to the Neuse River. Once I get to the Neuse River, I don't know, man. It's between 8 and 10 hour paddle or float, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to be paddling though. My intention is to make it to Sterling today. But I'm not going to paddle that river in the dark. There's really like steep banks and tall grass all around the banks, so it's real easy for stuff to jump out at you. And the river's, it's for the first, I don't know, at least the first half of it, it's super narrow river. It's probably, I don't know, anywhere between 5 and 15 feet across. I'm also a little worried. It looked really low when I crossed the bridge before I came out here. But anyway, hopefully in the background you can see the island. It's pretty amazing. I haven't seen one person the last 3 days. Pretty amazing. Boy, it's really cool when the lake's like glass like this. It reflects the sky. Kind of feels like you're canoeing through the clouds, you know? Gives you a weird sensation like that. God, this is like so nice and quiet. GoPro. Okay, here I am at the other side of that death portage from Loon Lake to Swan Lake. 3/4 mile. I single carried. I think I got my pack down to probably around 28 pounds or so. So I was able to do it. But man, 30-pound canoe plus that pack, that's a long ways. That was hard. That's one of the hardest portages I've ever done. And I'm not in good shape. I just, like I said before, I just got off 4 years of chemo. I need to get in better shape. Yeah, this trip is kind of a celebration of the completion of that chemo. And man, I gotta tell you, it was a lot of work. It wasn't easy. And I was pretty much sick for 4 years straight. I did get a break last summer for a couple months, but now I'm off it. Pretty much off it for good. I just gotta do a little maintenance chemo, but just some pills maybe. But right now I'm on nothing, and I can't tell you how good it is. You know, I don't know, maybe somebody watched this that knows somebody with cancer, which is pretty much everyone. You know, 3 years ago, almost to the date, I think it was in June of 2016, they told me, so I had let's see, I just had kind of stage 1 multiple myeloma, and then I went down to Seattle to SCCA, and I don't know, they did a bunch more tests, and the cancer, I'd gone through about 6 months of chemo at that point, pretty hard chemo, and they restaged me and just did every test in the book, and it seems like that first 6 months really didn't work, and it turned out my cancer was a lot more complicated than they thought, and kind of aggressive. So they turns out I had chromosomal abnormalities, which is not good. And dang, I wish I had more space on this card. But so they bumped me up to stage 3, and the prognosis that they gave me at the time was I had 2 years to live. I gotta tell you, that's quite the blow. But I'm not going to go into it too much because I don't have very much space on this card. But it just goes to show you, man, people can beat the odds. And I have to say, you know, the statistics that they're going off of, you know, most of the people that get this disease are over 60 and over. So they said, yeah, 2 years to live, but, you know, our statistic pool is rather, you know, skewed. But anyway, I ended up beating the odds, and after that I got a stem cell transplant, and that was, oh man, the chemo that they gave you before that is ungodly. But I got through it, and it was hard, but that stem cell transplant was a godsend, and it got me into a really deep remission, and I've been on chemo for 3 years after that, and I'm good, and I'm still in deep remission. There's no traces of it in the tests, so I know it's not going to last forever, but for now, I'm going to enjoy it. And this is my celebration, is this trip. This is about my favorite thing in the world to do. Has been for a long time. And it's great. I'm on my last lake. I'm about to portage over to the Neuse River. So, that's it. Some pads here. I'm going to try a little fishing. I'm kind of in a hurry today, which isn't a position I like being in. But I am going to try to fish here. There's some big lunkers in this lake. So, wish me luck. If I catch one, if I start catching them, maybe I'll turn this thing back on. I got a freaking monster on. This is going to be the biggest trout I've ever caught here. He's caught up on a lily pad. Dude, I just want to see him. This is the only freaking... My phone's dead, I can't take a picture. This is like an insane trout. This is like a trophy. I wish... Oh my god. Oh my god. If you can see this, oh my god. Look at, oh man, he's got parasites on him. Oh, the water's. Look at that. Look at that. This thing's like probably weighs 6 pounds. Jeez, man. Whew. Wish I could take you home, but I can't. I'm gonna let you go. Well, here I am on Swan Lake at the Neuse River Portage. It says on the map that it's a half mile. Oh, gorgeous, man! I can't believe that freaking fish. Woohoo! That is literally the biggest trout I've ever caught ever. That thing was a freaking monster. Wow, yeah, that was a monster. Anyway, time to get geared up and start trekking over this portage. Good times. Can't wait to get on the Neuse River. I'm gonna start paddling, see how far I can get. Might try to make it to the bridge. If I can't, then I'm camping with the bears. Which I would not be excited about. Nice little campsite here at the Portage to the Neuse River. Still at the Swan Lake side. And it's funny, there's a nice little planking here. Goes down to the water. But I just kind of wanted to make note that there's a pretty decent campground here. Nice grass to set your tent up on. Nice and flat, dry. Somebody was just here within probably a couple of days. There's a group that's ahead of me. I wonder if they're already made it here, so I guess they're gonna stay at Camp Island for 4 days. I bet you this is them. I wonder if I can catch up to them. See if this is still warm. No, it's wet. Somebody poured water on it. Oh yeah, they were just here. They're probably maybe a day ahead of me. It'd be cool if I can catch up to them. I'd like to say hi. You know, it's kind of funny. You know, you come out here to be alone, but after 4 days or so, you kind of hope that you run into somebody. It gets a little lonely out here, but still nice. And it's nice that they're ahead of me. Hopefully, they scared off the bears. But this fire, I bet you they put this out this morning. So, anyway, that's it for now. I'll sign back in when I see the river. That was the last portage of the trip. Oh, yeah, it's not easy. Well, I'll tell you what, it's really hard when you first start, and then, I don't know, once you kind of break through that that wall and you get your breathing rhythm, and you can do it. There's a nice freaking hill back there. Anyway, here's the Neuse River. There's the canoe. And that's it. Well, I got about 8 to 10 hours of this. I'm gonna guess 10. So hopefully I can get to town before it gets dark. If not, I'm gonna have to camp. Alright, that's a little bit of what the Neuse River looks like. I'm gonna have to go through and edit out or delete some of the longer files, because this is like some of the coolest part of the trip. So I'll record a few minutes of this before I can get to a resting point. But you can see I'm not even paddling. It's a really windy river, so you're always like turning. It's the first time I've taken this canoe on a river. See how it does, but this thing's really windy, so you really gotta paddle hard sometimes to get around these like really sharp corners. And you always gotta worry about the sweepers, which are like a tree across the river. Those things scare me worse than bears. Seems like there's people get killed here in Alaska every year. I always read about it in the paper. This river is actually going a little faster than I remember it. So here's whoa, what do we got here? So get around this, bow around. You don't want to get hung up in that crap. Big old sandbar right there. Yeah, this is pretty fun. Well, I just left maybe the halfway point. I think I've got about 5 more hours of this. But when there's not freaking log jams in the way, it's pretty fun. Which there has been the entire way. Nothing. Pretty soon this opens up. What is this? This should be fun. Oh yeah. About 3 or 4 hours ago, I almost flipped and I lost my paddle. And it was scary. My paddle got stuck in between a couple of like branches that run underneath the water, and it just got ripped out of my hands. Instantly realized how important this freaking paddle is. I'd be stuck out here in the middle of nowhere. But, see, freaking logs. Ah. Current's all weird in here. Boy, I wish I could film more of this. I just don't have any memory left. At least it's shallow right here. Yeah, you can see you gotta navigate all these logs. 747s. Duck Central right here. Awesome. GoPro, stop recording. Well, at the end of the Neuse River, off the bow you can see the, I don't know, the Neuse River Bridge. I think that's what it's called. Oh. Paddled about 30 miles today. That's not including the lakes, that's just the Neuse River. It's 27 miles and I paddled 2 lakes. And that is a full day. But that marks the end of this journey. And until our next adventure, I don't know, I guess if you're watching this video, you could subscribe and see some of my other adventures. My next one is going to be halibut fishing in Anchor Point with a very interesting boat launch that I think I've only seen this particular technique in Alaska. But anyway, thanks for watching. See you later.